Hello and welcome. The first week of the Grand Naval Battles event has ended. The results are in and the winners have been decided. This is a runner-up match for the highest base experience in a cruiser. It only lost by 30 experience, so it was incredibly close. Anyways, the second week of contests is going on. You can get 200 diamonds for the best match in a tier 5 or lower ship. And 4 prizes, 200 diamonds each, for the best guide for each of the ship classes. If you want to know more, then click on the link in the description of the video to go to the forum thread. Anyways, moving on, our hero today is 159Hunter. He is in the Soviet cruiser the Chapayev, which is a ship that I haven't actually played, but I seem to really like it in terms of playing against it, because she seems to just set fires like crazy. Anyways, this match is on the map Two Brothers. It's domination mode, and it seems that there's a Tirpitz coming in towards our hero immediately near the decap. His team is actually splitting apart, which I don't really like that much, because I think that usually leads to losses, but if the enemy team does the same, it's okay. The first salvo seems to be on point, more or less. Would have been nice if it had been a little bit more lead, but that's okay. He got a fire in the first salvo too, which probably means that Tirpitz uses his damage control party. Sadly, the second salvo fell a bit short. I guess it doesn't really matter if the second salvo would have set a fire, because the Tirpitz did use damage control party on the first one. So now there's cruisers around on that side, and this is the spot where, if I'm in a cruiser on this map, in this kind of a situation, where I don't actually know what to do. This is a problem I have seen many times before, because where do you go? If you keep going towards the eastern side, you put yourself into a more and more dangerous position in terms of helping your team, because the further you go towards the edge of the map, the less room you have to threaten the enemy team by taking bases or, you know, pushing them. But I guess he has a plan, because he turned around. Notice that he didn't fire while turning, because that just meant that he stayed invisible, so he wouldn't be shot at. And now he is using the island to shoot at the hipper. And I guess he will keep shooting at the hipper, while he and the Nuremberg go try to take the decap. Although I think if he fires now, he will be spotted. Although that Myoka is very close anyway, so he'll be spotted soon regardless. I don't see how they're gonna try to take the decap here. This seems like a really scary spot, and yes, I think turning around is the right choice. Wait, did he just fire his guns? Oh no, never mind, he switched ammunition. It seemed weird that it went on reload, I just didn't pay attention. It seems that DD is capping C, so Hunter decides to turn around and head back into the cap. I think that's a wise choice, because you probably don't want to fight all those enemies at the decap. Although if you look at the minimap, you can see that there's an enemy carrier at D6, and that would have been a nice kill, but I mean, there's so many battleships around, I think he would have just died before he actually got it. Okay, it's a Farragut that took the cap, but it's okay. A Chapayev should easily beat a Farragut in a 1 versus 1, unless he gets suddenly torpedoed, which, you know, the likelihood is like 0, because otherwise it wouldn't be a replay here. But the unfortunate part is that planes are also incoming, so it's not the greatest situation. He's gonna take a lot of damage here. Luckily though, the carrier kinda did a very bleh drop, so it doesn't matter really. I mean, it's really not that easy to drop on a defensive fire Chapayev anyway, even if he is trying to fight the Farragut at the same time. But yeah, look at the choppiness of this zoom in and zoom out because of the replay. The best part is to just, I guess, zoom in myself, because the reason why it does this choppiness is because of the fact that it tries to follow the camera. I don't know what, you know, makes it so choppy, but that is how it is. Regardless, the enemy team has got all of the caps, literally all of them. Hunter is decapping C to take it back to them, but the enemy team still has A, B, and D. Hunter's team is probably going to get A with that DD soon, that Loyang, or at least should have a good chance. I don't see them taking D anytime soon, or even B. So they are definitely a major disadvantage at the moment. And I mean, they are at a disadvantage in ships as well. 3 ships down against 1. Well, but, I mean, it's still a good effort to push for the A cap now. I think the A cap is the right choice here, because this actually means that they can probably take it, because there were so many ships on the other side that it should definitely not have... The enemy team should definitely not have enough ships here to try to defend. There's a destroyer in the A cap, the Mahan. I figured he was inside a smoke or something, but it appears not that isn't the case. I mean, it doesn't really matter, because Hunter could have just used radar, and that would have meant the death of the Mahan. However, if you look at the positioning of Hunter's team towards the left side of the map, there's 2 battleships right at the edge of the map, and that's a big mistake in my opinion, because you put yourself so far away from other ships that it becomes really difficult for you to be, you know, useful as a threat to the enemy team. Yes, you can fight that Nagata, but once that Nagata is dead, then what do you do? Because you are so far away from all the other ships and caps, etc., that you aren't threatening anything. So this is why I really dislike people going towards either side of the map edge. In my opinion, it is much smarter to do what the enemy team is doing on the right side of the map. The ships are pushing right alongside the island, because this means that they have the least amount of time it will take them to get towards the enemy sea cap, or spawn cap, or whatever you want to call it. Well, at this point it's a Chapayev against the Nagato, so he has to be incredibly careful, because one stray shot from the Nagato might kill him. It might not do anything at all though, so I would definitely keep my nose pointed towards the Nagato, because the Nagato is definitely gonna go down, and he did. Or she did. At this point there are no enemies around here, but look at this. Look at now what the battleships are doing. That one battleship is still on the one line. What's he gonna do? For the next 3 minutes he's not going to do anything useful, because nothing is in range for him. So that's kinda the issue. The other thing what Peavy said is kinda weird. If you see that your side is losing, you definitely need to fall back, because if you don't, you just give up a free kill. If you can't fight on that side, then just run away. That's fine. A retreating enemy is much harder to fight than an attacking. What? Okay, what the hell is the enemy Hiryu doing? Why is he still here? Well, he just died. I don't see what he's gonna do. The Hiryu's pretty much just dead. Well, that's a free lunch that Hunter's team really needed. Because, well, I mean, they are behind in points and ships, and this free carrier kill is definitely useful, especially because they are going to lose their own carrier in a moment. But yeah, if you are caught out on one side of the map with the enemies having superior forces, run away. Because again, it's much easier to hit the target coming towards you than hitting a target running away from you. I mean, unless it's like a carrier going in a straight line like this, because this is so close by, it doesn't matter. And the other thing is that if you're running away and the enemies are coming towards you, you can torpedo them, and it's much easier to hit torpedoes on a target that is, you know, moving towards you, not away from you. But suddenly, surprise, Amagi. This is bad, and I agree with Hunter's choice of focusing on the Amagi instead of the carrier. While the carrier is a big threat, the Amagi is a much bigger immediate threat in my opinion. And right now it's pretty much do or die. The enemy team is for some reason messing up. They are not going for the sea cap. They are instead trying to pick off the enemy, Hunter's carrier. Which just means that, you know, they are not taking the cap point at sea, and this just gives his team a big advantage. Unfortunately, aside from this Amagi, there's also a cruiser coming back. At least the DD will probably... No, never mind. I wanted to say that the DD will pick off the carrier, but that seems to not be the case. And it seems the Amagi was trying to dodge the torpedoes while turning his guns and just didn't work out. Now Hunter, again, in my opinion, makes the correct choice to focus on the Cleveland instead, who for some reason is beached completely. Which is great for Hunter, because he can just pick him off easily. He's aiming very low on the waterline, but from what I can understand, that is actually the position you should be aiming at more or less. Maybe a bit higher, maybe a tiny bit higher. But the reason is that if you aim at exact waterline, the shell arc is so flat that it will simply just overpen the ship. And as you can see, he is getting tons of citadels with this, so can't be the worst decision. This Cleveland is dead though. Even if Hunter doesn't ram him, Hunter has torpedoes, so bye Cleveland. Although I think it was a mistake to try to torpedo here. I think he should have just picked him up with the guns while not showing broadside. And maybe slowed down, then he wouldn't have taken so much damage from the Cleveland. But at this point they actually have quite an advantage in the match. They have a one ship lead. Yes, both sides have lost their carrier, and they are losing the C cap, but they are gonna take the D cap, and I don't see what the enemy team is gonna do to stop it. It's a bit unfortunate that the enemy carrier's planes returned to the place where the ship died, because that just keeps Hunter spotted, and this puts him in danger of the ships that are far away from shooting him, but I mean, these are planes, they are going to die eventually anyway. And as long as he doesn't get hit in the next few seconds, it'll be fine. And he didn't, so he did get the full cap here. And I guess at this point, they should just focus fire on one or two targets and then pick him off. I mean, look at the battleships that were at the left side of the map. They still aren't at the sea cap. I mean, yes, they probably didn't move straight towards it, but they had been closer, and maybe not towards the map edge so far, they maybe would have been able to prevent the sea cap from being kept.
Anti-aircraft gun crews are on normal alert.
But I mean, that's okay. At this, I mean, they aren't the hero of the game, it's Hunter. Although, actually, if you think about it, his damage output isn't all that high, but you can't really say that he didn't do much to win. I imagine that his team would have lost really hard without him. This is 1500 HP Tirpitz. The Tirpitz's guns are pointed elsewhere, so it's completely okay for him to broadside him, at the moment at least. Just have to keep in mind that once his guns start changing direction, it's high time to point your nose towards the enemy Tirpitz. Although he still seems to be a bit afraid, but at this point it's okay because the guns are pointing almost towards him. He just needs fires, which he is getting quite many of. And this Tirpitz is, well, he is toast. And our hero Hunter got Kraken unleashed already. And the enemy only has 2 cruisers and 1 destroyer left. Hunter's team still maintains 1 ship lead. I think it's wise to slow down here. Unfortunately, the Tirpitz's fighter keeps spotting him. It would be better if he could fall into concealment. Because right now it's important to not die. Although, if I was in his position, I would also take shots at this Miyoko. Mainly because, you know, the Miyoko is not targeting him at the moment, so it should be okay. He just needs to make sure that he doesn't die. Although I think even dying should be fine, but it does potentially give the opponent opportunity to start winning again. But they should have the fourth cap locked down. It might take a while longer than they would like, but it should still be fine. They are going to lose the B cap if the game lasts long enough, but I think they can still manage, as they still have an AD and now C. And they have a DD that is uncounted for, but even if the DD takes A or D, it should still be okay, because they have a solid 200 points lead. They might lose the New Mexico though, but they probably aren't going to lose the North Carolina. Hunter might die himself too though, and in that case it would be a bit unfortunate. But they just need to hang on for like a dozen seconds more. The DD is apparently capping D. I don't know if it's actually a smart choice to turn around to go towards there. I think the smarter choice would be to just run away and stay alive. Although the game might not end actually, because the New Mexico might just die, and he did. So the game lasts quite a bit longer now. And it'll be equal caps 2 and 2, but I think the North Carolina can pick off the Myoka eventually. I think facing Fubik at 3000 HP is not actually a really smart choice, because if Fubik uses his guns, he can kill this Chapayev in like 2 or 3 salvos. So it's a bit dangerous and risky. But, I mean, he did risk it to get Confederate, and he did get it, so it's okay. He's firing blind now because he can't spot the DD, but the DD can't spot him either. Although now he can, probably from the Myoka. Or maybe not actually, maybe the DD is spotting it himself. But regardless, the Myoka died, so the match ended. So Hunter's team managed to clutch victory. They were behind at the start and in the mid game quite a bit as well, but then they managed to come back by doing a nice ring around the rosie on the entire map at Two Brothers, and Hunter racked up 5 caps. That's including the assists, of course. He made 500,000 credits in a tier 8 non-premium cruiser, which is rather impressive in my opinion. He got Confederate and Kraken Unleashed. 151 hits on target, and with those he got 13 fires, which is a really good ratio. And he also shot down 25 planes and was rather instrumental in killing the enemy carrier. So the result was really good. So looking at the team score, he by far got the most experience in this match. Actually, the enemy Myoka got a really good result as well. That's almost 1700 experience on a loss, which means that if they had won, that would have been a 1.5 multiplier, so 2400 experience, even more than that. But Hunter definitely outshined everyone else in this match. He got 3800 experience, only 30 points less than the #1 submission for cruises in this event. That's a really good result still. I can't really say anything about it. The friendly North Carolina also played well. They definitely held up the part of their team that was much weaker, and without them they would have definitely lost. In terms of damage, actually, if you add all of these up, this isn't all that spectacular. It's only 116,000 damage. In a tier 8 cruiser, yes, it's a great result, but it's nowhere near as spectacular as the 3800 experience tells you. So, what can you conclude from this? Well, what you can conclude is capping gives a ton of experience, and capping wins games. And I really like this match, so thank you very much for sending it in, 159Hunter. And anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, then please subscribe, and thanks for watching.